let me out, Madam Chair. Hindi po ako kasama doon. And I hope that the good Vice President will amend her statement involving everybody for this action taken by this committee.
Madam Chair,
Vice President wish to...
I did not say tumatawa. Gusto niyo ulitin, gusto niyo ipabasa ulit sa Secretary kung ano sinabi ko? I did not say tumatawa kayo. Number 2, I did not say attack by the committee. Number 3, I did not say collective action. Sa kanya nang galing yun. I did not say conspiracy theory. Sa kanya nang galing yun.
May I ask if this is a budget hearing on the budget of the OVP or is this a committee investigation already?
Nagkabunyaga na nga. Naganap na budget hearing na naging pagdinig sa maling akusasyon, pinagplanuhan pala. Pero bago ang lahat, maaari kayong mag-subscribe para maging updated sa mga issue at bagong mga balita. Lumabas nga rin ang katotohanan. Samot-saring reaksyon at peking akusasyon nga ang natanggap ni Sara Duterte. Pagpapabagsak sa kanya at sa mga kaalyado nito sa gobyerno, pinagplanuhan pala. Pag-imbita sa Kongreso kay Sara Duterte, isa palang patibong para siraan ito. Dan Fernandez, sapul ang pagiging hambog kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Narito ang buong detalye.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Honorable Dan Fernandez.
Just clarification.
Just the last one. And then
I just wanted to be clarified, Madam Chair, because there's accusations coming from the Vice President that there is a collective action that to be taken by this committee on attacking the budget, especially the COA report on the confidential fund of the Vice President. I think we need to be clarified if there is such action that will be taken by this committee. I think it is unfair to all of us, especially kami, galing lang po kami sa kabilang hearing and we decided to check it out, what is being discussed in this committee. Then suddenly we will be a part of this conspiracy or a collective action that will be taken against the confidential fund of the Vice President. And hearing the side of the Vice President on the repetitive reply on not answering, I think it will set a bad precedent. What prevents other departments that we will be inviting over to do the same? And I think it is incumbent upon her, with all due respect and with humility, for us to be clarified on those budget that was used for the confidential fund. And I think being a part of the accusations that we are part of the collective action to malign her on the confidential fund is something that is out of order. I know, Madam Chair, that kung titignan naman po natin yung budget niya for 2025 na 2 billion and comparing to 2024 budget na 1.8, myself, I will move to approve this budget. Because ang liit lang naman po ng increase niya. But what hurts me ay yung pong masama po tayo doon sa sinasabi po niya na meron po tayong collective action to malign her.
So do you wish to introduce a motion?
And ang sinasabi ko lang po sana, I want to be clarified that it is a collective action of this committee to have a malicious intent on asking the confidential fund of the Vice President on the previous years. We are doing that in the different committees. We are doing that in the different investigations. And what I'm trying to point out, Madam Chair, I hope that the accusation of the Vice President have basis on trying to involve everybody on this conspiracy to attack her.
So just to
I just want
clarify,
it to be clarified, Madam Chair.
absolutely, we have absolutely no plan, any conspiracy, if I may use that word, to attack, if I also may use that word. Nandito lang po tayo para kilatisin ang budget ng isang ahensya ng gobyerno. Yun lang po. Yun lang po, maliwanag.
May point of clarification, Madam
yes po.
Chair. If that conspiracy theory of having this a pre-attack on her budget is being conspired by this committee. And if that is so, let me out, Madam Chair. Hindi po ako kasama doon. And I hope that the good Vice President will amend her statement involving everybody for this action taken by this committee, Madam Chair.
Would
Madam Chair,
Vice President wish to...
I did not say tumatawa. Gusto niyo ulitin? Gusto niyo ipabasa ulit sa Secretary kung ano sinabi ko? I did not say tumatawa kayo. Number 2, I did not say attack by the committee. Number 3, I did not say collective action. Sa kanya nang galing yun. I did not say conspiracy theory. Sa kanya nang galing yun. Pabasa niyo ulit kung ano sinabi ko.
And so, Madam Vice President, because those words were uttered
Madam Chair.
by
Madam
someone,
Chair,
I just...
just because you don't like my answer, you don't like how I answer, you don't like my demeanor, hindi ibig sabihin na hindi ako sumasagot.
And that's the reason why, Madam Chair, I asked
Okay.
for the point of clarification.
Yes, so,
And,
again, I had...
now that the
pwede lang
Vice-
po sana.
Now that the
Sandali
Vice
lang po.
President,
Sandali lang po, para hindi po tayo nagsasabay-sabay. Merong clarification na hiningi at nag-clarify naman po ako. Wala pong plano. Kasi kanina, very clear ang sinabi naman po, there was a plan. Stick to the plan. Wala rin po ako natatandaan. I kept saying, let us all stick to the issues, which is the budget. So yun na lang po. Let's just end here and so that we can move on.
yes, Madam Chair,
Kung
if I
pwede lang
may.
po sana, let's move on.
Lastly.
Meron pa pong isang budget pagkatapos nito.
Lastly, that's the reason why I asked for a point of clarification. The point of clarification is to be clarified by the resource person. And if that is the answer of the good Vice President, I will accept that her intention is not to involve everybody on a collective
Yes,
attack on
and
her
we're
budget.
happy with that
And I'm happy
clarification.
on the answer of the Vice President. But, of course, I just wanted to review the... Anyway, thank you so much, Madam
Right,
Chair.
salamat.
Madam
So,
Chair,
yes, Madam
point
Vice
of
President.
clarification is understandable if you want to be clarified of the words I uttered. I didn't say collective action. I didn't say
Yes,
conspiracy
it has
theory.
been made clear,
I didn't
Madam
say
Vice President.
I'm being attacked by the committee. Di ba nanggaling sa akin yun? So, anong ika-clarify ko doon?
Yes, ma'am, noted po. It had been
Yung
loud and clear
script
po.
kasi, nagkakabuhol-buhol na yung script.
Let's now proceed.
Chair.
Let's now proceed.
Madam Chair, just an inquiry from this representation. May I ask if this is a budget hearing on the budget of the OVP or is this a committee investigation already?
This is a budget briefing by the Office of the Vice President. And with that clarification, let us move on to the next member. Our honorable
Budget
briefing is hereby resumed. Next to interpret is the Honorable Alan T.
Good afternoon, Madam Vice President, and to everyone. Before I proceed with my question, Madam Chair, let me make a manifestation. In the National Expenditures Program for Fiscal Year 2025, Volume 1, page 34 and 35, on obligations by object of expenditures, there's a column for GAA 2023, 2024, and 2025. That is on the operating expenditures. Likewise, in page 36, on the performance indication, there's a column 2023 GAA targets. In the briefing materials provided by the Office of the Vice President for fiscal year 2025, Page 4 presented a comparative budget allocation and utilization for fiscal year 2019 and 2025. And also in the presentation, slide presentation of the Vice President in the physical accomplishment, that is GAA 2023. Madam Chair, if I may proceed with my questions,
Please proceed.
I will defer to the Vice President if she wishes to answer or not my questions. Under the obligations by object of expenditures in the 2025 National Expenditures Program, 375 million was obligated in 2023. Can you kindly confirm?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the OVP 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal.
Honorable T.
Madam Chair, considering that what was obligated is 375, there's a balance of 125 million that has not been obligated and released, as earlier confirmed by our Vice President. Can she again confirm it? As to the amount?
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the OVP budget proposal of fiscal year 2025 by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal.
Madam Chair, may I ask the Vice President, what are the programs, activities, and projects that will be affected by the non-utilization or non-use of the 125 million of confidential fund?
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the OVP 2025 budget proposal by question and answer. I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal.
Madam Chair, will the 125 million unobligated balance of the confidential fund be considered savings by the Office of the Vice President?
Madam Chair, I would just like to point out, yung previous question niya, sinagot ng sumunod niyang question. I will forgo the opportunity to defend the OVP 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal.
It's about savings, Madam Chair, if she will have it as a savings, considering that the budget has a validity period of 2 years, which will end in December 2024. So that is my question, if it will be considered as a savings by the Office of the Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the OVP 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal.
Madam Chair, is the Vice President aware that the Commission on Audit issued a credit notice dated August 8, 2024, finding no deficiencies on AOM Audit Observation Memorandum Number 2024-015, dated February 1, 2024, regarding the liquidation of the cash advances of Mr. Edward D. Fajarda, Special Disbursing Officer for Confidential Expenses of the Department of Education, covering the period from February 20 to June 20 of calendar year 2023 in the total amount of 75 million.
Madam Vice.
Madam Chair, I cannot answer for the Department of Education.
But it was during her time that the period covered by this liquidation.
Madam Vice.
Yes. Madam Chair, I am no longer a part of the Department of Education. Therefore, I am not authorized to speak anything about the Department of Education. The question, ngayon lang binigay na hindi na ako secretary. It may have had happened during my term as secretary, pero yung question ngayon siya. Wala na ako authority.
No, that's why I'm asking if she is aware, because the credit notice was dated August 8, 2024.
You may proceed, Honorable T.
On the 2025 proposed budget, how much is the amount of funds allocated for financial assistance and subsidy for 2025 OBP maintenance and operating expenses of 1,792,391? How much is allocated for financial assistance and subsidy?
Vice.
Yes, Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President budget proposal of fiscal year 2025 by question and answer. I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal.
Madam Chair, she mentioned about programs of the Office of the Vice President. May I ask the breakdown how much will be spent for those programs as she mentioned in her slide presentation a while ago?
Madam Vice President.
Yes, Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as it is.
So, Madam Chair, she also mentioned about duplications such as medical assistance and burial assistance undertaken by the Office of the Vice President, as well as of that of the Department of Health, Department of Social Welfare and Development. May I ask the Vice President, in order to streamline the bureaucracy and avoid overlapping functions, what are your thoughts on the possibility of reallocating the funds earmarked for medical assistance and burial assistance to the line agencies like Department of Health and DSWD?
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer. I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. That's all my question, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Next to interpolate is the Honorable Mark Go.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Chair, to the Honorable Vice President and the other officials of the Office of the Vice President. My first question is directed to the Department of, or the COA. Is it a common practice, Madam Chair, that after an actual audit is completed, there is an exit conference conducted by the Commission on Audit with the institution that is being audited, Madam Chair?
Madam Vice President.
The question is directed to
Ascom Julia.
Madam Chair, it is a regular activity before an audit report would be prepared. There will be an exit conference, but in other, for example, in the case of fraud audit, it is not mandatory to have an exit conference. They could only, if the agency or the auditee wishes to have an exit conference, then the team could grant an exit conference, but it's not automatic. But for regular audit, those under residency audit, they conduct exit conference.
In the case of the Office of the Vice President, in 2022, did you conduct an exit conference with the Office of the Vice President?
I have no personal knowledge, Your Honor, because I'm not the one who supervises the national government agencies.
May I ask the Vice President if they had this exit conference after the audit that was completed, Madam Chair?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and we leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Well, I assume that if there was an exit conference conducted by the Commission on Audit with the Office of the Vice President, what were the initial findings of the audit conference? Or the audit as explained probably in the audit conference?
Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, I think that question is best asked of the Commission on Audit, not the Office of the Vice President. What were the contents of the audit?
Volgo, what do you wish?
Yeah, I would assume then that there was an exit conference, and the exit conference was not satisfactory to the auditing department. That's why the the confidential fund, as indicated in the audit observation, we can see the findings because the audit or the exit conference was not successful in terms of resolving some of these audit findings of the Commission on Audit, Madam Chair.
Madam Vice President.
Yes, Madam Chair, we have received many audit actions from the Commission on Audit, and we have submitted our responses to them and assured the public of our full cooperation with the Commission on Audit.
Madam Chair, we have received a copy of the audit findings on dated August 8, 2024, issued by the Commission Audit. And have you submitted already your response to these findings, Madam Chair?
Madam Vice President.
I'm sorry, could you write the last line?
Yes, could you kindly repeat your question? Not to be included in your time.
May we ask if they've already answered, and if they can tell us the answer that they submitted to the Commission Audit on the findings of the Commission Audit as reported earlier? Madam
Madam Vice
Chair.
President.
Madam Chair, I would not like to assume, but is this about the audit of the confidential funds or the audit of the entire Office of the Vice President?
Both, Madam Chair.
All right. On the issue of confidential funds, we have received audit actions from COA regarding the confidential funds of the Office of the Vice President. We have submitted our responses and we assure the public of our full cooperation with the ongoing and unfinished audit. With regard to other audit actions, we assure the public that we have submitted our responses and we are in full cooperation with the Commission on Audit.
Madam Chair, I have another question. You have experience using confidential fund, especially in 2022 and 2023. And in 2024, you don't have any confidential fund, as well as probably in this proposal that you submitted in 2025. If you will make a comparison between having a confidential fund and not having, which of these you will choose if be given the opportunity, Madam Chair?
Madam Vice President.
Yes, on the issue of confidential funds, we have received audit actions from COA regarding the confidential funds of the Office of the Vice President. We have submitted our responses and we assure the public of our full cooperation with the ongoing and unfinished audit.
Can you not share with us your experience on this, Madam Chair? On not having a confidential fund and having a confidential fund, considering the fact that you have both experience having one and not having one.
Madam Chair, I will forgo the opportunity to defend the Office of the Vice President 2025 budget proposal by question and answer, and I will leave it to the House of Representatives to decide on the proposal as presented.
Okay, I think